I recently got a plugin recommended to me, and it seemed like such a fun and unique plugin, I just had to cover it. This one was recommended over on my Discord, the Casa Story Universe. If you're not in there yet, do make sure to join. If you ever have any recommendations for plugins, live streams or anything else, then leaving a suggestion on the Discord is definitely the best way to go about it. So it will be awesome to see you there. But today, we're gonna have a look at...
Schneckenhaus. Schneckenhaus.
Schneckenhaus? Schneckenhaus! I think. I'm not German, I don't know. So I'll just refer to it by its English name. We're gonna have a look at Snail Shell, which is a Minecraft plugin that literally allows you to enter a shulker box or chest. If you're still confused, don't worry, let me show you. Also, little jump scare, bam, play button, bam, analytics. 86.1% of my daily viewers is not subscribed to my channel. We are so close to 100k though, so big chance you think you are subscribed, but you're not actually in reality, so do make sure to double check. So first, you want to make sure to download the plugin. A link to this PicketMC page can of course be found in the description down below. After that, drag it into the plugins folder of your Minecraft server and then give it a quick little restart. After that, back in game, you can see that shulker boxes are still regular shulker boxes. Look at that. We can just open them and use them like we've always been able to. Nothing really changes here. But there is now a new crafting recipe which you can use to make a special type of shulker box. So when we place the shulker box here in the top left, after that we add a spyglass and then some gold. You can see that this will result in us getting a snail shell. Now currently the size of the snail shell is 8 by 8. If I add one more gold, you can see it will be 10 by 10. If we place one more, it will be 12 by 12. I think you get the idea. So what we can do is we can simply get this snail shell. After that we can place it down. And you might be like, what is this all about? It just looks like a regular shulker box. You can also still take it like you would any other shulker box. But as soon as we try to open it, that happens. We are now literally inside of the shulker box. And in here, we can do whatever we want. So maybe you want to make a chest room. There is nothing which keeps you from doing that. You can make it as high as the roof allows you, and I can just put all of my stuff in here. There we go. All of this stuff is now safely stored. Maybe you want to have an ender chest here. And what about a little corner for your enchantment table? There we go, looking fine. We now have our own little base here with storage and an ender chest, and you know, we can enchant some items. And now if we go to the door and we right click, we're out again. We're back in the overworld and we can take this shulker box. There we go. We can go to another place somewhere in this world. And if eventually I'm like, I really want to access my items again, or I really want to enchant something, we can place down this snail shell, right click, and we're back in. And like you can see, the items are of course still here. I don't know about you, but that's so cool. Now you can make a very small shulker box or a very big one. And depending on the color shulker box you choose, the room you enter, or well, the snail shell, will also be a different color. So let's choose blue, for example. Let's add a spyglass. You can see by default it is a 4 by 4 room, which is really small, but it might just be enough for what you're looking for. So let's place it down, let's go in, and there we go. This is our 4 by 4 snail shell. Is it small? Yes, definitely, but you can still store quite a lot of chests here. But let's say you want to go above and beyond, we can also just add a lot of gold ingots, just like that. And now our snail shell will be 18 by 18. So like you can imagine, that is a lot bigger. Like a lot. Look at that. Look at all the space we got. That is so immensely cool. We can build a whole base here inside of a shulker box. I love it so much. Now, of course, we don't have to use a shulker box. We can also use a chest. If we use a chest together with a spyglass, we also get a snail shell, but then, you know, it is a chest. And instead of gold, by default, you need to use diamonds to increase its size. We now have a chest snail shell, which you can see will actually look like a chest from the inside. I love it so much. It is so fun. And everything I'm showing you here, by the way, is completely customizable. So if you want to allow snail shells to have bigger sizes, then that is something you can customize. By default, 11 by 11 is the max snail shell size for chests, and for shulker boxes it is 18 by 18, but that is all customizable. By entering a snail shell and typing /shinfo, we get some information about the current snail shell we're in. So we get an ID, a location, who the creator is, what the size is, and we can even teleport to it or connect another item to this snail shell. Now, something which you can also do is create a snail shell of your own. So when we type /sh create, after that, for example, shulker, and then we enter a size between 4 and 30, which bypasses the limit which is possible with crafting, we can easily create one through a command. Which is really cool and really handy if you, for example, want to sell some snail shells inside of, for example, an in-game shop. But let's say you don't really like the design of all of this. Something which you can also do is create an actual custom snail type. So the way this plugin works is every single time you click on a snail shell, you will be teleported to another world. We are currently not in the overworld anymore, or the nether, or the end. This is a brand new snail shell world, which is specifically created to store all of these rooms. If we want to create a custom snail shell, we can type sh and after that TP, which will then teleport us to the snail shell world. And like you can see, here they are. All the snail shells I've created, they are all here floating in the void. Let me change the time real quick so you can see it better. There we go. That's the spawn of the world, and here we got all of them. And if you want to add a custom type of snail shell, you can do that by building one inside of this world. Now, don't just build it anywhere, because at some point your custom snail shell could collide with a newly generated one. So instead, you need to make sure that your X and Y coordinates are smaller than 0. Like is the case right now for me. All of the newly generated snail shells will be generated on that side. So here we can create custom ones. So if we want to make a custom snail shell, we can simply do that over here. All you need to make sure of is that your snail shell is not bigger than 64 by 64, but other than that, you can do whatever you want. So we can, for example, make an all glass one, because why not? There we go. And then we put a roof on it. Beautiful, look at that. You also want to make sure you add a door to your snail shell. And the door must always be in the northeast, because that is where players spawn. Like you can see over there. There is the door. And of course, like you saw before, when you click on the door, you will be teleported back to the overworld. So we can just place a door right here. Now, I wish this plugin had world edit integration. I kinda hope they will add something like that in the future. Right now, you just want to make sure you take note of opposite corners of your snail shell. So we want to know these coordinates. And then we also want to know these. And after that, the command we want to type is /sh new shell type. Then we want to enter a name, for example, glass. And then we need to enter the coordinates of those two corners, which is why I just used world edit, because now I actually have them on my screen. So I can simply type over these coordinates just like that. And after that, you want to specify the ingredients. So we can, for example, type spyglass, because that is the default ingredient for most of these snail shells. And after that, we can add more ingredients like emerald. After that, press enter and you're good to go. Successfully added a shell. You can edit it in the config. Remember that you need a chest besides the specified ingredients to craft it. And if we would now craft it, or we simply type /sh create, after that not chest or shulker, but custom, and we choose for the glass one, then now we will be teleported to our beautiful brand new snail shell. And when we interact with the door, we will be teleported out again. And you can see I've received a snail shell, which I can now place anywhere and then right click and then we're in. Look at that. That's so cool. Now, if you want to further edit a snail shell, you can do so in the config. So inside of the plugins folder, you will be able to find the snail shell folder. Simply open that one up, and then in the config.yml, you're able to change a bunch of settings. The first setting here immediately shows how trippy this can become. Allow players to enter snail shells when already inside of one. Nesting is true by default. So do be sure that you want this one enabled, otherwise hop in the config and disable it. Now we also got settings for theft prevention. You can set a home shell if you want. So if this is enabled, then every player will automatically receive a new snail shell on the first spawn. In other words, first time you join the server, you will automatically get a home shell. That way, right from the start, you can have your own little portable home. Now next up we got rainbow mode, and rainbow mode confuses me a little bit because it says, if true, players are allowed to enable rainbow mode in the snail shell menu. I was not able to find the snail shell menu. I don't know where it is. And the spigot page also doesn't mention it at all, so maybe this is a feature they're still working on, or I'm just dumb and I completely missed it. Whatever the case may be, the feature does sound cool. And here we can completely customize how these snail shells should be crafted. So should they be craftable? Yes. What is the ingredient? A spyglass. And then what is the item you need to increase its size? Which is a gold ingot by default for the shulker. But if you feel like that is too overpowered, for example, you could also change this to something a lot more rare. And you can even decide how much size you want added per gold ingot. So lots of customization here. And then here we got the configuration for the chest. And down here, the custom one. Now something I'm just realizing is that it might be very confusing to have a spyglass here again, because both the custom recipe and the chest one use a chest and a spyglass to make their appropriate snail shell. So it might be better to change this to, for example, a different material. So maybe only an emerald. So if we now open the crafting table and we put in a regular chest together with an emerald, we get the snail shell, which is of course the glass one we created before. There we go. I love it, man. I think it is so cool. And that is gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.